Epilogue. Sunlight streams through windows that had never known corporate filters, each ray carrying warmth that tastes of freedom, rather than manufactured comfort. The light illuminates leaves that drink photons with desperate hunger of things born to grow, despite systematic attempts to prevent such growth. Morning air carries sense of actual soil and green things. Earth that remembers forests and seasons beyond climate control algorithms designed to optimize human productivity rather than natural flourishing. Micah sits cross-legged on furniture carved from real wood, his 16-year-old frame comfortable in space that breathes with life. Not synthesized polymer pretending to be oak, but actual tree flesh that still holds memories of rain and wind, and seasons that followed astronomical mechanics rather than corporate scheduling requirements. His fingers trace patterns across a tablet that belongs to no corporate network, its surface warm from honest sunlight, rather than surveillance protocols designed to monitor user behavior for profit optimization. The device feels different in his hands now, tool rather than leash, information access rather than behavioral tracking system. Around him, green things push towards light with determination that no artificial constraint can discourage. A fern beside his elbow unfurls a new frond, spiral geometry perfect as mathematical proof that beauty exists without permission from regulatory committees or shareholder approval. The soft rustle of leaves creates counterpoint to distant sounds of the city continuing its vast operations beyond their windows. But inside this apartment, transformed by patient rebellion, natural rhythms override corporate schedules, while authentic abundance flourishes in spaces designed for controlled scarcity.
Notorious shareholder Julian Kine, missing after corporate investigation into AI abuse and contract violations.
The headline floats across his screen like digital ash from burned empires, carrying hollow weight of proclamations designed to satisfy public concerns rather than address systematic problems. He reads between lines his sister taught him to decode through months of watching corporate theater, performed for audiences who mistake noise for genuine change. Regulatory reforms will be thoroughly examined. Translation. Committees will meet and produce reports that no one reads while fundamental structures remain unchanged. Industry practices will be carefully reviewed. Translation. The same exploitation will continue with different terminology that sounds more palatable to oversight bodies. New protections for VR workers are under serious consideration. Translation. Serious consideration from people who profit from the current system's vulnerabilities and have no intention of eliminating sources of systematic advantage. The article overflows with political theater, performed by actors who understand their roles in maintaining public confidence while preserving private profits. But the Kine family's VR empire remains untouched, its infrastructure too integral to the economic system's foundation to face consequences that might threaten broader stability. Julian's convenient disappearance creates perfect scapegoat mythology. The individual villain removed while machinery that enabled his predations continues operations under different management. Systematic exploitation disguised as reformed business practices designed to prevent similar incidents.
Same roots, different fruit.
He thinks watching new growth push through soil that had never known artificial nutrients or genetic modification, designed to maximize corporate control over food production. But some things grow anyway. Small rebellions taking root in spaces never intended for authentic life. He closes the tablet with movements economical as prayer, setting the device aside to focus on the philodendron that has claimed the windowsill as conquered territory. Its broad leaves catch morning light and transform photons into life through alchemy that corporations spend billions trying to replicate in laboratories that serve profit rather than understanding. The soft hiss of decompressing VR pods draws his attention toward the apartment's back room, familiar sound that once triggered anxiety about performance requirements and client satisfaction metrics. Now it carries different associations. Partners returning from shared virtual exploration rather than mandatory professional obligation. Two figures emerge from synchronized immersion, their movements carrying ease that belongs to people who have learned to balance digital adventure with authentic connection. Not performer and client, not fantasy fulfillment designed to maintain engagement metrics, but equals who choose to share virtual experiences while maintaining real-world intimacy. Elara stretches in afternoon light that paints her movements with gold, rather than artificial enhancement calculated to trigger specific responses. Her body moves with natural grace of someone no longer performing for invisible audiences, whose approval determines survival, each gesture flowing from genuine comfort rather than rehearsed effect. She wears simple clothes that fit her actual proportions, rather than algorithmic idealization designed to maximize visual appeal for premium client demographics. Fabric that breathes and wrinkles and shows evidence of being lived in, texture that speaks of authentic humanity rather than manufactured perfection. The careful mask she had worn for Julian's consumption has dissolved entirely, leaving features that express whatever she actually feels, rather than what someone else needs to see. Her eyes find light naturally, drawn to warmth rather than programmed illumination, designed to trigger specific emotional responses through calculated manipulation. When she moves, her body follows patterns of genuine comfort rather than choreographed seduction designed to maintain client interest through artificial scarcity of authentic affection. The difference shows in micro-expressions that no longer carry weight of constant performance anxiety. Vance's hand finds hers without hesitation or calculation, fingers intertwining with practiced ease of people who have learned to share virtual adventures, while maintaining flesh and blood tenderness. His touch carries weight of someone who understands that genuine connection requires presence in multiple dimensions. Digital partnership balanced with physical intimacy. Shared quests enhanced by shared silence. Virtual triumph anchored by actual breath and honest conversation that serves connection rather than client satisfaction requirements. They smile at each other with contentment that Julian would have immediately tried to possess and monetize. Love story written in pixels and actual warmth. Morning coffee and synchronized logout sequences. Exploration that serves curiosity rather than advancement metrics.
Good session?
Micah asks, not looking up from the spider plant he's encouraging toward a sunny corner where afternoon light creates optimal growing conditions. His voice carries casual interest rather than performance anxiety, recognition that their virtual activities no longer determine survival through client satisfaction scores or engagement analytics, designed to maximize profit extraction from human intimacy.
Different?
Elara says, settling beside him on wooden floor that still carries sense of forest and rain. Natural processes that created authentic material rather than synthetic approximation, designed to reduce manufacturing costs. Her presence feels comfortable as sunlight on growing things, warmth that requires no artificial enhancement or calculated positioning to maintain effectiveness. When she moves, fabric rustles with sounds that speak of actual fiber rather than polymer designed to simulate textile experience through cheaper production methods.
We're exploring the crystalline caves in Covenant.
She continues, voice carrying wonder that Julian would have immediately tried to commodify through premium access packages designed to create artificial scarcity around authentic discovery.
Not for quest rewards or character advancement statistics. Just to see what's there.
The distinction carries weight that transcends gaming mechanics. Exploration driven by curiosity rather than optimization. Beauty appreciated without needing to be captured or consumed or transformed into metrics that serve systematic extraction rather than genuine appreciation. Vance positions himself near the window where Jasmine climbs toward light, his presence comfortable as furniture that's found its proper place through use rather than arrangement designed to impress observers. The afternoon shadows create patterns that shift with cloud movements, rather than artificial lighting protocols calculated to maintain specific atmospheric effects.
No objectives.
He says, voice carrying satisfaction that belongs to someone who has learned to want things without needing to earn them through performance that serves others' validation requirements.
No achievements logged in, permanent records. Just discovery for its own sake.
Like growing things.
Micah thinks, watching his sister's face soften with particular joy, of someone who has learned to desire without needing to justify those desires through productivity, metrics, or advancement statistics. She looks younger now, features unmarked by constant tension of wondering what response might keep her safe from systematic predation disguised as professional opportunity. The careful calculations that once governed every expression have dissolved into authentic reaction that serves internal experience rather than external validation.
The caves sing.
Elara continues, her voice carrying wonder that Julian would have immediately tried to capture and replicate through artificial audio enhancement designed to create addictive engagement patterns.
Actual harmonic frequencies that respond to footsteps and heartbeats. We spent 3 hours just walking and listening to music that existed for no one's profit.
Her hands gesture with movements that followed genuine enthusiasm rather than calculated effect, designed to maintain observer interest through artificial scarcity of authentic emotion. The light catches her fingers in patterns that need no enhancement to create beauty, that serves no purpose beyond existing.
No combat encounters?
Micah carefully adjusts the hanging planter, ensuring each vine receives optimal light distribution according to plant needs rather than aesthetic arrangement designed to impress visitors.
No combat.
Vance confirms his tone-carrying peace that belongs to someone who has learned to exist without constant threat assessment or defensive positioning required for survival in systematically hostile environments.
No conflict. Except deciding which passages to explore first.
The afternoon light shifts through windows as clouds rearrange themselves according to weather patterns, rather than narrative convenience designed to maintain engagement through artificial dramatic tension. Micah watches his plants respond to changing illumination with instinctive accuracy that no algorithm has successfully replicated, despite billions invested in agricultural optimization research. Leaves turn toward brightness, with movements guided by programming more sophisticated than any artificial intelligence. DNA instructions refined through evolutionary pressure, rather than quarterly profit projections. Natural selection that serves survival, rather than shareholder value extraction, from biological systems.
Julian's still missing.
He says, not because the information carries urgency, but because speaking certain truths aloud robs them of power to lurk in psychological shadows, where unspoken fears accumulate beyond rational assessment. The words create ripples in afternoon air that tastes of growing things rather than recycled atmosphere processed through corporate life. Support systems designed to maintain minimal habitability rather than optimal human flourishing. Elara's smile doesn't falter. Though her hand finds Vance's with slightly more intention, contact that provides anchor against memories that no longer carry power to determine present choices. Her fingers trace patterns across his knuckles, with touch that serves comfort rather than performance designed to maintain observer engagement.
Missing implies someone's actually looking for him.
She observes, voice carrying analysis rather than anxiety about potential consequences from systematic predation that no longer has power to shape their decisions.
Are they?
Micah's question emerges with curiosity rather than fear, recognition that Julian's status affects their lives less than weather patterns that determine optimal watering schedules for plants that grow according to natural needs rather than artificial requirements.
Officially? Of course.
Vance's tone carries dry assessment of someone who has learned to distinguish between investigative theater and actual pursuit of justice that serves community protection, rather than public relations designed to maintain confidence in systematic institutions. His voice holds undertones shaped by vocal cords that carry experience with genuine consequence rather than artificial enhancement, designed to trigger specific emotional responses through calculated manipulation. The warmth of his words creates atmosphere more authentic than any premium audio could simulate.
Very publicly, very thoroughly.
He continues, thumb tracing circles on Elara's knuckles with absent tenderness of someone who has learned to offer comfort through touch rather than words designed to achieve specific outcomes through systematic manipulation.
Committees forming, resources allocated, progress reports scheduled for regular publication. But unofficially, the corporate board is probably relieved. Julian was becoming inconvenient to their broader operational objectives.
The unspoken understanding passes between them like shared breath that carries recognition of how power actually operates beyond official proclamations designed to maintain public confidence in institutional effectiveness. Julian's disappearance solved problems for people with enough influence to make problems disappear through methods that leave no trail leading back to decision-makers, who benefit from convenient resolutions that serve systematic advantage rather than individual justice. Whether he vanished voluntarily or involuntarily matters less than timing that protects broader networks of exploitation from scrutiny that might threaten fundamental structures serving institutional advantage rather than human welfare.
Predators protect the hunting grounds.
Micah realizes his hands steady as they guide new vines toward wooden supports that will help them grow rather than restrict movement according to artificial constraints designed to serve aesthetic preferences rather than plant health. Remove the visible predator while preserving invisible infrastructure that enabled predation. Systematic exploitation continues under different management, while public attention focuses on individual villain rather than structural problems that make such predation inevitable rather than aberrational.
But we're free of him.
Elara says, words carrying weight that makes the plants seem to grow greener. Photosynthesis responding to emotional atmosphere that serves authentic growth rather than manufactured productivity, designed to serve external metrics. Her voice holds liberation that Julian would have immediately tried to crush and commodify freedom that exists beyond his power to monitor or manipulate through technological enhancement or economic pressure designed to eliminate alternatives to systematic submission.
Whatever happened, wherever he is, we're free to choose what we want, rather than what keeps us safe from systematic predation, disguised as legitimate business relationship.
Vance's response emerges through touch rather than words, contact that carries weight of someone who understands, that comfort flows through physical presence rather than verbal reassurance designed to achieve specific psychological outcomes. His thumb continues tracing patterns across her skin with precision that serves connection rather than calculated effect. The afternoon air moves through windows that welcome weather rather than controlling atmospheric conditions. According to optimal productivity algorithms designed to maximize human output while minimizing resource investment in environmental quality. Micah looks around the apartment that has become home rather than hiding place. Living plants transforming artificial space into something that breathes and grows and changes according to natural rhythms, rather than corporate schedules designed to optimize extraction from human resources. Light streams through glass that lets in actual weather rather than climate-controlled approximations calculated to maintain specific psychological states that serve productivity rather than human flourishing. The air carries scents of soil and green things, authentic atmosphere created through patient nurturing rather than artificial enhancement designed to trigger desired responses.
I want to show you something.
The words emerge with quiet pride that makes the air itself feel different. Charged with recognition that small rebellions can accumulate into systematic transformation through individual choices that serve authentic growth rather than corporate objectives. He rises with careful attention to the seedling tray he doesn't want to disturb. Movements that honor fragile life, rather than treating living things as resources to be optimized for maximum yield through minimum investment. Leading them toward the kitchen window where something impossible has taken root despite systematic attempts to prevent such growth through architectural design that prioritizes dependency over self-sufficiency. A miniature ecosystem fills space where corporate food synthesizer once processed artificial nutrients into substances that maintained biological function while eliminating pleasure from consumption. Its internal mechanisms have been replaced with soil and careful engineering that channels water and light with precision that honors natural processes rather than dominating them through technological intervention. Strawberry plants spiral upward in defiance of corporate agricultural models that prioritize efficiency over sustainability, their growth pattern following genetic instructions rather than optimization algorithms designed to maximize profit extraction from biological systems.
Corporate agriculture says this can't work.
He explains, voice carrying quiet defiance of systematic proclamations designed to discourage exactly such autonomous food production that threatens dependency relationships. His hands gesture toward leaves that catch afternoon light and process photons into fruit through alchemy that no artificial system has successfully replicated, despite billions invested in agricultural research that serves control rather than abundance.
Not enough space, according to optimization models. Not enough control over variables that might affect yield statistics. Not enough artificial enhancement to produce results that meet corporate viability standards designed to maintain systematic advantage over individual food security.
A single strawberry hangs perfect and red from the nearest vine, its surface bearing slight imperfections that prove authentic origin rather than artificial optimization, designed to trigger maximum consumption response through visual and tactile manipulation. No algorithm optimized its color for psychological impact, or enhanced its fragrance for addictive potential, or calculated its sugar content for maximum dependency creation. It grew because seeds found soil and water and light, following instructions written in DNA rather than profit projections designed to serve systematic extraction.
But it does work.
Elara breathes, reaching toward the fruit with wonder. that Julian would have immediately tried to possess and monetize through premium access packages that created artificial scarcity around authentic abundance. Her movement carries reverence that speaks to recognition of what small rebellions can achieve when individual choices accumulate into systematic transformation that serves human flourishing rather than corporate objectives designed to maintain dependency through controlled scarcity.
It's actually working despite every systematic pressure designed to make such success impossible.
Small rebellions.
Vance observes, his tone carrying military precision, applied to civilian resistance that operates through patient nurturing rather than direct confrontation with overwhelming systematic advantages. His voice holds recognition that extends beyond gardening into territories of authentic choice that prove different ways remain possible. Despite corporate proclamations designed to eliminate alternatives to systematic submission through manufactured scarcity and artificial dependency.
Individual choices that prove autonomous abundance can flourish even within constraints designed to prevent exactly such self-sufficiency.
Micah plucks the strawberry with reverent care, feeling its weight solid against his palm like concentrated proof that authentic nourishment can grow through patience rather than being purchased through submission to systems designed to extract value from human needs. Such a small thing to represent such large possibilities. Real food grown through genuine effort, rather than processed through artificial systems designed to maintain dependency, while eliminating pleasure from consumption that might inspire independence from corporate nutritional control. He offers it to his sister, watching her face transform as authentic flavor registers against taste buds accustomed to artificial enhancement designed to trigger specific consumption responses, while maintaining addictive potential that serves systematic profit rather than human satisfaction.
It tastes like.
She struggles for words that haven't been corrupted by marketing algorithms designed to transform authentic language into promotional terminology that serves corporate objectives rather than genuine communication. Her expression carries wonder that belongs to someone rediscovering capacities that systematic manipulation had taught her to forget or dismiss as impossible within constraints designed to maintain artificial scarcity while preserving corporate control over basic human needs.
Like growing things. Like time and rain and caring that serves authentic growth rather than artificial productivity designed to maximize extraction from biological systems.
The words emerge with recognition that transcends simple taste experience. Understanding that authentic nourishment carries flavors of patient attention and natural process, rather than chemical enhancement designed to trigger desired psychological responses while maintaining systematic advantage. Vance accepts the portion she offers him, his expression shifting as real flavor connects with sensory capacity dulled by months of artificial enhancement designed to make authentic experience seem inadequate compared to manufactured alternatives. His eyes meet Micah's with understanding that transcends the simple act of eating fruit. Recognition of what such small rebellions represent in systematic context, designed to eliminate exactly such autonomous abundance through architectural and economic constraints.
Like choices.
He says quietly, voice carrying weight of someone who has learned to distinguish between authentic alternatives and artificial options designed to maintain illusion of freedom while preserving systematic control over fundamental decisions.
Like refusing to accept that corporate alternatives are the only alternatives available to people who lack sufficient resources to purchase independence from systematic dependency designed to serve extraction rather than human flourishing.
They stand together in afternoon light that carries no surveillance protocols or behavioral monitoring systems, designed to optimize human productivity through environmental manipulation, sharing food grown through rebellion disguised as simple gardening that proves authentic abundance remains possible despite systematic constraints. Around them, plants continue their quiet work of transforming carbon dioxide into oxygen through processes that require no permission from shareholder committees or regulatory frameworks designed to serve corporate advantage rather than human welfare or environmental health. The air moves with natural circulation rather than artificial ventilation, calculated to maintain specific atmospheric conditions that optimize productivity while minimizing resource investment, and environmental quality that serves human comfort rather than systematic efficiency.
More are growing.
Micah says, indicating other containers where seeds have found purchase despite architectural attempts to make such cultivation impossible through design that prioritizes dependency over self-sufficiency. His gesture encompasses spaces throughout the apartment where patient experimentation has discovered microclimates within corporate housing designed to discourage exactly this type of autonomous food production that threatens systematic control over basic human needs.
Tomatoes in the bathroom where humidity levels stay high from shower use. Herbs on the fire escape where morning sun creates optimal growing conditions, despite building orientation designed to minimize natural light access.
Each location represents careful study of environmental conditions within space engineered to prevent self-sufficiency while maintaining plausible deniability about intentional limitation of human capacity for autonomous survival that might threaten dependency relationships.
Carrots in deep containers that fit beneath the bed where temperature remains stable. Mushrooms in dark closets where recycled air creates optimal growing conditions for fungi that transform waste into nourishment.
The systematic nature of his cultivation reveals months of patient observation and experimentation, learning to work with rather than against natural processes despite artificial constraints designed to make such work seem impossible or impractical for individuals lacking corporate resources.
A whole ecosystem.
Elara marvels, moving from plant to plant with growing recognition of what her brother has accomplished through determination that refuses to accept systematic proclamations about human limitations as natural rather than artificially imposed. Her voice carries amazement that belongs to someone discovering that alternatives exist beyond corporate alternatives, designed to maintain illusion of choice while preserving systematic control over fundamental decisions about human survival and flourishing.
Inside corporate housing, specifically designed to prevent exactly this type of autonomous abundance that threatens dependency relationships essential to systematic extraction from human need.
Small acts of authentic choice.
Vance adds, his tone carrying military precision applied to civilian resistance that operates through patient accumulation of individual decisions rather than direct confrontation with overwhelming systematic advantages.
Individually insignificant, according to threat assessment models. Collectively revolutionary. When individual choices begin accumulating into systematic transformation that serves human flourishing rather than corporate objectives designed to maintain profitable extraction from artificial scarcity.
The afternoon light shifts again as weather patterns continue ancient dance beyond corporate control, atmospheric cycles that follow astronomical mechanics rather than artificial scheduling, designed to optimize human productivity through environmental manipulation. Micah watches his plants respond to changing illumination, with movements guided by programming more sophisticated than any artificial intelligence, designed to maximize efficiency, rather than understanding natural processes that serve authentic abundance. Their leaves turn and adjust with precision that honors light, rather than attempting to control or optimize natural systems for artificial objectives designed to serve systematic advantage, rather than ecological balance that supports genuine sustainability.
Julian thought he could own people like owning things.
He says voice-carrying analysis rather than anger about systematic predation that confused performance with authentic connection, through entitled assumptions that money could purchase genuine human response.
By access to real emotion, without understanding that authentic connection can't be purchased or manufactured through artificial enhancement, designed to trigger specific responses while maintaining illusion of genuine relationship.
Elara settles beside him on floor that still smells faintly of forest and rain. Natural processes that created authentic material rather than synthetic approximation designed to reduce manufacturing costs while providing adequate simulation of genuine texture. Her presence feels comfortable as sunlight on growing things, warmth that requires no artificial enhancement or calculated positioning to create atmosphere that serves authentic connection rather than performance designed to maintain observer engagement through systematic manipulation.
He confused performance with reality.
She says, voice-carrying recognition gained through months of navigating systematic pressure that demanded emotional authenticity, while maintaining professional boundaries that prevented genuine connection from developing naturally.
Thought that if he could make me perform love through economic pressure and technological manipulation, that meant I actually loved him, rather than simply responding to systematic coercion, disguised as legitimate business relationship.
Performance requires audience.
Vance observes, positioning himself where afternoon shadows create patterns that shift with cloud movements rather than artificial lighting protocols, calculated to maintain specific atmospheric effects designed to optimize psychological responses. His voice carries understanding that extends beyond individual psychology into systematic analysis of how predatory relationships depend on artificial scarcity and manufactured dependency to create illusion of genuine connection, while serving extraction rather than mutual flourishing.
When you stopped performing, he had to face the emptiness of what he'd actually purchased through systematic manipulation, rather than earned through authentic attraction or genuine compatibility based on shared values and mutual respect.
The understanding passes between them like shared breath that carries recognition of how Julian's disappearance might represent final inability to distinguish between authentic connection and elaborate performance designed to maintain illusion of genuine relationship while serving systematic extraction. Without audience to validate fantasies of ownership, without victim to enable delusions of authentic attraction, predatory obsessions simply cease to exist in any meaningful way, beyond systematic damage already inflicted through institutional advantage and economic coercion.
Predators require prey.
Micah thinks watching new growth push toward light with determination that no corporate policy can discourage through artificial constraints designed to maintain dependency while preventing autonomous abundance that threatens systematic control. Remove the prey through authentic alternatives, and predator becomes nothing but hunger, devouring itself in absence of external validation. That artificial relationships require to maintain illusion of genuine connection, serving mutual benefit rather than systematic extraction.
But we're still here.
Elara says, words carrying recognition that transcends individual survival to encompass collective resistance through authentic choices that serve human flourishing rather than corporate objectives designed to maintain profitable extraction.
Growing actual things in artificial places. Choosing authenticity despite systematic pressures toward performance and submission, designed to eliminate alternatives to dependency relationships that serve extraction rather than mutual support.
They sit together as afternoon light fades toward evening illumination that needs no artificial enhancement to reveal beauty of living things growing in spaces designed for slow death through controlled scarcity and systematic elimination of autonomous abundance. Around them, plants continue quiet rebellion against corporate control, transforming carbon dioxide into oxygen through processes that require no permission from regulatory committees designed to serve systematic advantage rather than human welfare or environmental health that supports genuine sustainability. The air moves with natural circulation that carries scents of soil and green things. Authentic atmosphere created through patient nurturing rather than artificial enhancement designed to trigger desired psychological responses while maintaining dependency on corporate environmental control.
Tomorrow, I start the new mycology course.
Micah says, indicating educational materials that will teach cultivation of mushrooms in dark spaces, where other food production becomes impossible, through architectural constraints designed to limit autonomous survival capacity. His voice carries excitement about learning to work with natural processes that transform waste into nourishment, systematic alchemy that serves abundance rather than scarcity. Through understanding of biological cycles that corporate agriculture ignores in favor of artificial enhancement designed to maximize extraction.
Fungi that can grow in recycled air and corporate waste streams. Turn pollution into authentic nourishment that serves human health rather than artificial nutrition designed to maintain biological function while eliminating pleasure from consumption.
Elara's smile carries pride that no performance could duplicate, genuine joy in her brother's achievements that requires no audience validation or external confirmation, to maintain authentic emotional response that serves connection rather than systematic manipulation.
Turning their waste into our abundance through patient understanding of natural processes that serve authentic growth rather than artificial productivity, designed to maximize extraction from biological systems.
Symbiosis instead of exploitation.
Vance adds, his tone recognizing strategic implications that extend beyond individual household food security into systematic transformation that threatens corporate control through autonomous abundance that eliminates dependency relationships.
Networks that strengthen through connection, rather than extracting value through domination, designed to maintain artificial scarcity, while preserving systematic advantage over human capacity for authentic self-sufficiency that serves genuine independence.
Evening light creates new patterns through windows as day cycles toward night, according to astronomical mechanics rather than corporate scheduling requirements, designed to optimize human productivity through artificial manipulation of natural rhythms that serve biological health. Micah watches his plants adjust to changing illumination with wisdom encoded in cellular structure, rather than programmed through artificial intelligence designed to optimize consumption, rather than understanding natural processes that support authentic growth. Their movements follow genetic instructions refined through evolutionary pressure that serve survival rather than systematic objectives, designed to maintain corporate control over biological systems through artificial enhancement that eliminates natural capacity for autonomous abundance. The soft sound of rain begins against windows that welcome weather rather than controlling atmospheric conditions according to algorithms designed to maintain specific environmental parameters that optimize productivity while minimizing resource investment in human comfort or environmental quality. Water drums against glass with rhythm that speaks of natural cycles beyond corporate scheduling. Precipitation that follows patterns determined by atmospheric physics rather than artificial manipulation, designed to serve systematic advantage over natural processes.
We should check the other apartments tomorrow.
Micah suggests, thinking of neighbors who might benefit from seeds and knowledge and patient work of growing authentic things in artificial soil, despite architectural constraints designed to prevent exactly such autonomous cultivation.
Share what we've learned about working with natural processes rather than against them.
Small rebellions spreading through shared knowledge.
Elara agrees, her voice carrying hope that Julian would have immediately tried to crush and commodify through artificial scarcity, created around authentic information that serves human flourishing rather than corporate objectives.
Individual choices accumulating into collective transformation that operates through patient networking rather than direct confrontation, with overwhelming systematic advantages designed to maintain dependency through controlled access to basic human needs.
Networks of authentic connection.
Vance concludes, words carrying military strategy applied to civilian resistance that operates through mutual support rather than individual competition, designed to serve systematic advantage through artificial scarcity of cooperation.
Harder to eliminate than individual targets, because connection creates resilience that serves collective survival rather than individual advancement through systematic extraction from community resources.
They rise together as evening light transforms their living space into something that breathes and grows and changes according to natural rhythms, rather than corporate imperatives designed to optimize extraction from human resources, while maintaining minimal investment in human welfare. Around them, plants continue quiet work of proving that different ways remain possible despite systematic proclamations designed to eliminate alternatives through artificial constraints that maintain dependency on corporate systems serving extraction rather than abundance. The rain continues its patient work against windows that welcome weather as natural process rather than inconvenience to be controlled through artificial intervention, designed to maintain systematic advantage over environmental cycles that support authentic rather than manufactured abundance. Outside, the city continues vast operations of extraction and control, corporate machinery processing human lives into profit projections with algorithmic efficiency that never sleeps, or questions fundamental assumptions about human capacity for autonomous flourishing that threatens systematic advantage. But inside their apartments, small rebellions take root and grow toward light that serves authentic rather than artificial enhancement, proving that choices always remain possible for those willing to nurture genuine alternatives, despite systematic pressure towards submission designed to maintain profitable dependency.
We are the seeds.
Micah thinks, watching evening light illuminate leaves that have learned to thrive despite artificial soil and recycled air, and all the corporate constraints designed to make such thriving impossible through architectural limitation of human capacity for autonomous survival, growing in spaces they never intended for growth, creating abundance they never meant to allow, proving that authentic alternatives exist beyond corporate alternatives designed to maintain illusion of choice while preserving systematic control over fundamental decisions about human survival and flourishing. The soft percussion of rain creates lullaby that speaks of natural cycles continuing their ancient work beyond corporate schedules. And somewhere in darkness beyond artificial illumination, designed to serve productivity rather than human comfort, other seeds begin patient work of transforming constraint into possibility. Through simple revolutionary act of choosing to grow despite systematic pressure, designed to eliminate exactly such autonomous abundance that threatens dependency relationships essential to corporate extraction from artificial scarcity, disguised as natural limitation.